training for tens of thousands of Ukrainian soldiers. We see the difference this is making every day on the battlefield. Since Russia's invasion, we have significantly stepped up our support with billions of dollars of weapons and other assistance to help Ukraine uphold its right to self-defense, enshrined in the UN Charter. NATO's main responsibility is to protect all allies and prevent this war from escalating, causing even greater death and destruction. We may have been shocked by Russia's brutal invasion, but we should not be surprised. This invasion was one of the best predicted acts of military aggression ever. In NATO, we shared intelligence, and we made the intelligence public for many months to warn about Putin's plans. Russia's attack on Ukraine is part of a pattern over many years, where Moscow uses military force to achieve its political aims. The destruction of Grozny, the invasion of Georgia, the annexation of Crimea, the bombing of Aleppo, and now the war in Ukraine. Since the first invasion of Ukraine in 2014, NATO has been adapting and preparing, with increased defense spending and invested in modern capabilities, and to defend every inch of NATO territory. This is deterrence, to remove any room for misunderstanding or miscalculation in Moscow. Finland and Sweden's decision to apply for NATO membership is historic. It demonstrates that European security will not be dictated by violence and intimidation. All allies agree that NATO enlargement has been a great success, spreading freedom and democracy across Europe. So I'm confident that we will be able to find a way to address all allies' security concerns and welcome NATO's closest partners into our family of free nations. In the meantime, NATO is vigilant in the Baltic Sea region. Allies have increased their presence. We have stepped up exercises and deployments, and for the first time ever, a US amphibious ready group has been placed under NATO command. Finland and Sweden's membership would also strengthen the close bond between NATO and the European Union. European security and transatlantic security are deeply intertwined. Today, close to 600 million Europeans live in a NATO country, and 93% of the EU population is protected by NATO. The ever closer coordination between NATO and the European Union has been critical for dealing with the current crisis. And as you just heard from Ursula von der Leyen, NATO allies and the European Union have imposed unprecedented sanctions on Putin's war machine. The war in Ukraine demonstrates how economic relations with authoritarian regimes can create vulnerabilities. Over-reliance on the import of key commodities like energy, risks created by exporting advanced technologies like artificial intelligence, and weakened resilience caused by foreign control of a critical infrastructure like 5G. This is about Russia, but also about China, another authoritarian regime that does not share our values and that undermines the rules-based international order. I spoke with President Erdogan on Saturday, and we have also seen all the public statements, and Turkey has expressed concerns related to terrorism, to their security interests, and then we have to do what we always do in NATO, and that is to sit down and address concerns when allies express concerns. And I'm confident that we will be able now, as we have done so many times before in NATO, to find a way to solve these issues and to agree and then to welcome Finland and Sweden as full-fledged members of our alliance. I know Finland and Sweden well as a Norwegian. They will contribute to our collective defense, to our shared security. It will be in particular importance for the Baltic region. But let me also highlight that, or say that I also recognize the importance of addressing the concerns that Turkey has raised. Turkey is an important ally. Their strategic geographic location is important for the whole alliance, bordering Iraq and Syria. They have been key in the fight against ISIS, Daesh, Black Sea nation, close to Russia in the Black Sea. Then, of course, we have to remember that no other NATO ally has suffered more terrorist attacks than Turkey, and no other NATO ally hosts more refugees than Turkey. So we have to sit down and find a way forward, and I'm confident that we will do so. In the meantime, we need to make sure that we also address some of the concerns that Finland and Sweden has raised about this interim period, and that's the reason why we also have now increased our presence in the Baltic region, an amphibious ready group under NATO command, and more presence in that region of Europe.